Okay, so the situation here was turning to desperate. I had to take it apart a few times. This area, of course, again, and it still didn't work. I had checked some forums. I found the original manual on an amazing website if you're looking for documentation on some Pentax models at least, and I'll post it. I'll post the link in the comments, in the description. So, well, the whole evening went basically trying and trying, and in some cases it was the lever that controls the aperture, and this solved the problem for a few people. Others thought it might be a problem in the contact here. So I tried taking it apart again, and I think this last time I got it semi-right, but the issue has to do with this ring and the fact that while getting fixed, if I'm not completely mistaken, the issue is that while the whole system gets screwed into place, this tends to move out of its socket, and this controls the it controls the rotation. Well, I'm not exactly sure of, but it fixes in here, so it has to do with the control of the ASA, because the control for the exposure stops is controlled by these teeth here, and these teeth feed into, let's see if we can get some light in there and some focus. These teeth feed into that, well, it doesn't focus that well, unfortunately, but where there's that bright spot right here, there's a little dent protruding, and this basically shifts the exposure compensation. So this definitely has to do with the ASA. And what I think is, when getting it screwed down, for some reason this for some reason this tongue is getting misplaced, is ending up being misplaced. So the last time I've tried putting it back together, the values worked again. The only problem was that the lifting mechanism to control the ASA seemed stuck. So it was really hard to control, because when you rotate the wheel, both the ASA controls and the compensation, exposure compensation values change. So there was something wrong here, but at the same time, the LEDs were working. So it has to do with something here, and I guess we might be getting somewhere. Now, let's see, although it's oh, there we go. So actually, what we can see now, hopefully, if I can focus. Okay, there we see there's one LED flashing. The overexposure LED seems off. So it would seem actually as if now the camera's actually working again. So I'll try getting it back in place. I'll try getting this ASA wheel to move correctly. Sorry about that hand, but you know, to interact correctly with the camera, and then hopefully it might be fixed. So let's see. Late at night, I spent the whole evening on this camera, skipped dinner, so I'm happy to say though that it was, I guess, well invested, because I think I know what the issue is, and I think it's fixed, although it's still a little delicate. In my opinion, there's something I still have to figure out, but it is fixed. And let's see. So if I now set the lens at f8, and let's say we have an ISO setting of 1600 ISO, we will get a reading. Well, first thing to notice is that the camera isn't fixed on overexposure anymore, or well, in this case it is, because, well, obviously 1600 ISO might be a little dramatic, but here we see the difference. So we're at 400 ISO, and as you can see, the meter now is in the mid-range, and depending on where I orient the camera, so how much light it's getting, it will change, and depending also on the aperture. So in this case, the reading I got was 1/125th. If I push the lens to f22, I definitely get a 1/15th. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, it's much lower there. So aperture exposure compensation, let's rotate that. So same settings as before, ISO 400 and f22. So instead of being a 15, it should be something a little different, and it's an 8, 1/8 of a second. So you can see it works. And if I were to go to f5.6, the shutter is faster. So the camera works. I know what the issue is. I'll finally be able to pop the film into it, and finally I can confirm the weekend will be with this camera. I will make another video as mentioned, because the issue was really interesting, and yeah, so I'm happy to have got this done, and have a nice evening everyone. I'm going to bed.